Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. As you've seen from the intro, it's Labor Day weekend. It's actually Labor Day today, and the kids are going back to school tomorrow. So to wrap up the summer, I wanted to take a quick video today and go around the house and around the property and show you guys a few things that I've actually worked on this summer that I did not get a chance to put into a video, but some really cool stuff, and I hope you like it. So one thing I did recently is I bought some pallet racks for the barn here. As you can see, I got them installed here already. The intention of these pallet racks is try to get stuff off the floor that was starting to take a lot of room up in the barn actually. So I'll be able to actually lift up to this top shelf with the tractor and the pallet forks and put implements in here that I want to keep out of the weather and keep things off the floor. So I'm thinking this shelf right here is going to get the tiller when I buy a tiller, and the sprayer is going to stay in here. There's room for the syrup stove and the welder cart and the mower to stay in here all winter. Another thing I'll show you guys, this is another implement that I bought this year. It's called a subsoiler. You can't see it very well right there, but this conduit piece actually bolts onto here, and we're going to use that this fall to run some wire and to run some water line and maybe some gas line out here to the barn. And it's going to be pretty neat. I actually found that on another YouTube channel. Several actually YouTube videos showed kind of how to make one of those and how to run lines with it, so that'll be pretty neat. Another thing that's pretty slick that I made is this ladder right here. It's an old step ladder that was quite a bit taller than this. I had to cut it down by about 2 feet, but I wanted to actually have a ladder in here that was really easy to get around. So I went in here and I put some casters on the side there where they only engage the ground when you pick up on this side. So I'll show you guys how that works. Makes getting around on the ladder, getting the ladder around in the building a lot easier. Another one we didn't do a video on is our pumpkin patch. The kids and I planted probably our biggest pumpkin patch that we've done yet this year so far. Not a ton of plants in here, but there's definitely some better stuff than we had last year. There's probably 20 or 30, maybe 40 pumpkins in here. The second half of this field was originally sunflowers, and those didn't work worth a darn. I don't think this field gets enough light for sunflowers, so I came in here and I tilled it up again and I planted soybeans. And again, this is late in the season, so these deer have been plucking these off. At the top, they really like the green beans. And then out here, some of my seed got piled up from rain, but you can see I put some wheat seed in here as well. So this field's gonna have wheat and soybeans. This is the other side of the ditch. This half of the field where I ran out of seed for the corn, this is where I ended up putting in beans as well. As you can see, the corn did pretty good. And we cleared up this support for the utility pole and marked it so nobody runs into it. And then back there in the back, there's a tall, right there, it's a tall oak tree. In the back side of this, we're gonna end up putting a tree stand in that tree here in the next couple weeks. This is another project that I did this summer that I didn't actually have a chance to put it in a video, but we came across this steel bridge that I built a while ago. And I put larger boards on it. I put 8-foot wide boards and I added 4x4 curbs and made this bridge real nice, actually. A lot easier to go across, a lot safer for the kids if they're riding the ATVs. As you can see, this pretty deep ditch right here. It's probably 8 or 10 feet down there. So again, on tractor implements, this is another project that I did not actually do an entire video on, but this box blade had some welded on stuff from years ago that it was broken actually years ago, and it didn't actually work perfectly because the two pins, this pin and this pin, were not level with each other. So when you put the box blade on, it would be uneven with the ground. And also this year I got a quick hitch for the tractor, so I wanted to make it quick hitch compatible. So I ended up cutting some of that old stuff off, welding some new stuff on, and consequently I bought 2 new teeth for it. This tooth and this tooth are new because that other welded material had gotten in the way of some of the teeth. So now I have 5 teeth back on here again like it's supposed to be, and it is quick hitch compatible. The only issue that I had is I didn't finish drilling that hole. I got to drill that hole for somebody who does not have a quick hitch so they could still use this. You guys seen the video on pallet forks. I did one on lifting capacity for the tractor. I got this new set of pallet forks. I really like them so far. Made by Construction Attachments. Compact duty, 1,800 pound capacity, and they're actually pretty lightweight, so I've been real happy with these. While on the topic of that quick hitch, so take a quick video here and show you this. I ended up getting the John Deere one. Land Pride makes one. It's the same specifications, and you can get quite a few cheaper ones actually, but the John Deere one happened to be on sale. And there's a John Deere dealer about 2 miles from my house here, so that's the one I ended up buying. But essentially, as long as you have a standard distance from the top to the bottom pins, you can open those levers up, the 2 levers here, you can open those up and back right up to an implement and lift up on it, and it's connected, and put the levers down and you're ready to go. And in my case, you can see how far that reaches from the seat of the tractor. 99% of the time I don't have to leave the seat of the tractor. Very handy. Walking over to this side of the yard, this is another project that we worked on, and I didn't take a video on this either, but there used to be a big tree bush right here, and there used to be about right here, there used to be a light pole that went way up in the air right there, and I had a mercury light on that. What's going to happen here is from the barn, let me just turn over here, from the front of the barn all the way over by the chicken coop and behind the trailer and right around there, and if I wrap around here basically up to the dog kennel, all through here, this is all going to be driveway, including this area right in front of me right here. So I had to pull all that stuff out of there, and I moved an electrical wire that was in here as well, behind the trash cans there. And essentially I'm going to dig this down a little bit and put some of this crusher run stone in here and make this part of the driveway that's going to come all the way through here. The long-term plan someday is if I ever rebuild this garage, the garage is actually going to be shifted over this way and forward just a little bit here, so that tree had to go anyway. Another project, I actually just did this one yesterday. Had some scraps left over from putting a roof on my grandma's house, and grabbed those up and put the kids a roof on their tree house. I got that cardboard stapled up in there just because it would be cool here for a little while, but that'll come down once it gets wet, but the roof will stay. Thought that looked pretty neat. Back to quick hitch compatibility. This is my brush hog, and this year I had to change the gear oil on there, so I did that. But then the main thing I had to do with this was actually make it quick hitch compatible. And the bottom pins on this brush hog were actually a little too high. Actually, you can see there's a hole in there. That's where the pin used to be. And that didn't allow me to lift this off the ground very high. So when I put this back on here, rather than drill a hole, I actually welded that pin right on there. And then in order to get the play in the top, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this very well, but I made it where that would move back and forth, which gives me that play in the top link. So when you go over a bump in the terrain, it actually lets that move instead of being rigid back there like all mowers need that adjustable top link, that movable top link. Another one for quick hitch compatibility, this one was really easy. The back blade, I added actually these are a little bit different than the pins that I put on the other implements. These ones came with the quick hitch, but I put those on there, and they drive in with a roll pin in there. And then for the top of this one, this quick hitch piece is already in here, but as you can see, I had to paint this brown because I had to trim a little bit of steel off the front of this to get it to actually fit in the quick hitch. And while we're sitting here, another new implement that I got this year is from a friend of mine. He didn't use it much on his tractor,
he clamped this scoop, this is a tree scoop, he clamped it onto his forks and found out that it was a little bit too big for his tractor, so I ended up with it here. And I bought the adapter, the adapter here to go on the skid steer quick attach. And this is made by, forget who this is made by, Load Quip, I think. And basically the tree scoop goes right into two little Reese hitch looking pieces here, and it pins in there, and it can come out. You can get a slew of other implements that go in there, but I only have the tree scoop for now. But hopefully we'll be able to use that this fall for plucking some trees out and transplanting them. One last implement for quick hitch compatibility is the generator. My generator, it's a 15,000 watt generator, PTO driven. It sits on this carryall, and I wanted to make it, it was pretty easy to install already because it's on a frame that I built with wheels on it, but I did make this quick hitch compatible as well. I'll zoom in here a little bit. I did have to notch a little bit of this metal out in order to do that. Now, normally, if this quick hitch was going to be used to carry heavy loads of logs and stuff, I would not have cut that out. But all this one's ever going to be used for is to carry that generator. And that loss of a little bit of metal on there is not really going to make a big difference with the strength and its ability to basically carry the load of this generator. So that's all good there. All right, guys, that's the video for this week. Hope you like some of the things. I know there were small clips of projects that I did around here that I was not able to get on video. Coming up this fall, like I said, today's Labor Day. Coming up this fall, I'm going to put some gravel in this driveway, and I'm going to start working on the rest of my barn project, and I'll go through that in another video. But essentially the barn project is put a ceiling in the barn, we're going to get some insulation in the attic, we're going to install a furnace, we're going to install a radiant tube heater furnace in here. I'm going to set up a rather unique setup for my maple syrup stove so that I can cook inside the barn here, so I'll look forward to sharing that with you. And a slew of other projects going into winter. I've got a few tree stands on the pallet rack back here that need to be put up for this fall, and maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to take the camera out and video one of the hunts in this youth hunt. Both Michael and Marcus are going to be hunting the youth hunt that's coming up here in a couple weeks in Michigan. So hopefully we can do that, and we'll keep the videos coming. Thanks for watching. See you next time.